Let me ask you one question. Have you ever received your salary, looked at your bank account a week later, and wondered, where did all my money go? If someone doubled your salary tomorrow, would your life really change? Or would you simply spend more and still end up waiting for the next paycheck? Today's story is about a young man named Michael, a supermarket attendant who believed his small salary could never make him successful. He thought rich people became rich because they earned more, until one painful moment changed the way he looked at money forever. Before I begin, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because on this channel we share powerful life stories that teach lessons about discipline, financial wisdom, hope, and the choices that can completely change a person's future. And this story may change the way you look at your next paycheck. Deep inside a peaceful little town lived a young man named Michael. Michael was 24 years old. He wasn't lazy. He woke up early every morning, put on his supermarket uniform, walked almost 40 minutes to work, spent the entire day arranging products on shelves, helping customers, carrying heavy boxes, cleaning aisles, standing on his feet from morning until evening. By the time he reached home, his legs ached, his back hurt, his shirt was soaked with sweat. Yet after all that hard work, his salary was barely enough to survive. Sometimes he laughed with his co-workers and said, "We're not working for money anymore, we're just working for food." Everyone laughed, but deep inside, they all knew it was true. Michael rented a tiny single room. The roof leaked whenever heavy rain came. His old mattress lay directly on the floor. The small fan barely worked. Some nights he skipped dinner just to make sure he had enough money for transport to work the next morning. Life wasn't easy. But Michael had one habit that made it all even worse. Every month, the day his salary arrived, he felt rich. His friends would immediately call him, "Michael, we're going out tonight. Come on, you only live once." Without thinking, Michael joined them. They went to clubs, bought expensive drinks, ordered food they couldn't really afford, took photos pretending life was perfect. Sometimes Michael even bought new shoes or expensive clothes just so nobody would think he was poor. For a few hours, he felt important, successful, like everyone else. But 1 week later, reality returned. His wallet was empty, his account was empty, his kitchen was empty. He would quietly count the days until the next salary, again and again and again. One afternoon, as he walked home from work, he passed a small restaurant. The smell of roasted chicken filled the air. His stomach growled loudly. He checked his pocket. Only enough money remained for a loaf of bread. He stood there for several seconds, watching other people enjoy meals he couldn't afford. Then he quietly walked away. That night, he lay awake, staring at the ceiling. He whispered to himself, "I'm working every single day, so why does my life never change?" The following month, the exact same thing happened. Salary, clubbing, shopping, eating out, empty wallet, waiting for payday. His life had become a circle that never ended. One Saturday evening, Michael was walking through his neighborhood after work. The sun was beginning to set. Children were playing outside. People sat in front of their houses talking. As he passed one rental house, he suddenly heard shouting.
A landlord stood outside the gate. His face was filled with anger. A frightened tenant stood beside two small bags containing everything his family owned. The landlord shouted,
"I've given you enough time. You've been working every day. So where is my rent? If you can't pay, get out of my house, or go and build your own." The man's wife began crying. Their little daughter held tightly onto her mother's dress. The tenant lowered his head. "I'll pay next month." The landlord shook his head. "I've heard that every month. You work, but you never plan. Leave." Michael stood silently on the side of the road. He couldn't move. For some reason, those words didn't sound like they were meant only for the tenant. They felt like they were spoken directly to him. "You work, but you never plan." He looked down at his own worn shoes, then toward the tiny room he rented only a few streets away. What if one day I'm standing exactly where that man is? That thought terrified him. For the first time, Michael realized something. It wasn't only his salary keeping him poor, it was what he did after receiving it. The next morning, instead of sleeping late, Michael walked to the town library. He had never been inside before. Rows of books surrounded him. Quiet people sat reading. He walked slowly through the shelves until one title caught his attention: How to Build Wealth on a Small Income. He borrowed the book, took it home, and began reading. The first chapter shocked him. It didn't talk about becoming rich overnight. It didn't promise secret tricks. Instead, it said, a small salary is not your biggest problem. A lack of a plan is. Michael stopped reading. He stared at that sentence for a long time because it described his life perfectly. When payday came, he didn't go to the club. His friends called, "Michael, where are you?" He smiled. "I'm staying home tonight." They laughed. "What happened? Did someone make you old?" Michael laughed quietly. "No, I just don't want my future to disappear in one weekend." That evening, for the first time in years, he cooked his own dinner. Simple food, nothing expensive. It wasn't glamorous, but it was enough. He wrote every expense in a small notebook: rent, food, transport, savings. For the first time, his salary had a purpose. Days became weeks. The changes were small. Some mornings, Michael wanted to sleep longer. Some evenings, he wanted to join his friends again. Sometimes, he almost bought expensive shoes just because everyone else had them. Then he remembered the family, standing outside that rented house, holding their bags with nowhere to go. He quietly put the shoes back on the shelf and walked away. If you're still watching this story, don't just feel sorry for Michael. Ask yourself one question. Which one of Michael's habits is keeping you from the life you want? And if you're enjoying this story, don't forget to like this video and subscribe, because one lesson can change a lifetime. The next morning, Michael woke up before sunrise, not because he had to, but because he wanted to become a different man. He made his bed, prepared a simple breakfast, read 10 pages from the book before leaving for work. Then he quietly whispered, "One day at a time." At the supermarket, nothing had changed. He was still arranging shelves, still carrying heavy boxes, still earning the same small salary. But something inside him had changed completely. While other workers complained during lunch breaks, Michael opened his notebook. He wrote down ideas, business ideas, savings goals, plans for the future. Some co-workers laughed. "Michael,
"You think writing in that notebook will make you rich?" He smiled. "No, but it might stop me from staying poor."
The laughter continued, but Michael no longer cared. Every payday, he followed the same routine. He paid his rent first, bought only what he needed, cooked his own meals, saved a small amount before spending anything else. At first, the savings looked meaningless. Some months, it was only enough to fill a small envelope. But Michael remembered another sentence from the book. Never laugh at small savings. One day, they become big opportunities. Months became a year. For the first time in his life, Michael reached the end of the month with money still left. He couldn't believe it. He smiled, not because he had become wealthy, but because he had finally taken control of his life. His friends still lived the same way. Every payday they celebrated. Every month they borrowed money before the next salary arrived. One evening they invited Michael to a nightclub. "Come on, you've changed. You never have fun anymore." Michael looked at them with a gentle smile. "I still have fun, but now I enjoy sleeping peacefully because I know tomorrow's bills are already paid." They laughed and drove away. Years passed. Michael kept learning. He read books about discipline, personal finance, business, self-improvement. Every morning he woke before sunrise, not because someone forced him, because successful habits had become part of his life. He worked hard at the supermarket during the day, then spent his evenings learning. Little by little, he started a very small side business. It wasn't glamorous. It grew slowly. There were months it made almost nothing. But Michael didn't quit. He remembered how his old life looked, waiting for payday, living 1 week at a time, never again. Slowly, his savings became the deposit for a small piece of land. Years later, that land became his first rental house. The rent from that small house helped him build another, then another. He never rushed. He never borrowed money just to impress people. He built slowly, carefully, patiently. He still lived simply. He still cooked at home. He still planned every paycheck. One afternoon, Michael walked through the same road where years earlier he had watched a family being forced out of their rented house. He stopped, looked at the houses, then quietly smiled. Not because he had become famous, not because he was the richest man in town, but because he no longer feared losing the roof over his head. A few years later, Michael finished building his own modest home. The day he received the keys, he stood silently inside the empty living room. He remembered the nights he had gone to bed hungry, the days he had spent his entire salary in 1 week, the tears he had hidden because he thought his life would never change. He looked around the house, then closed his eyes and quietly whispered, "Thank you." Not long afterward, his mother came to visit. She walked slowly through every room, touched the walls, looked at her son, then began to cry. Michael became worried. "Mum, what's wrong?" She smiled through her tears. "When you were young, I used to worry that your salary would never be enough to give you a good life." She looked around once more. "I was wrong." Michael hugged her tightly. Neither of them spoke. Sometimes love doesn't need words. Years later, people in town no longer knew Michael as the supermarket attendant. They knew him as an honest businessman, a landlord who treated his tenants with kindness, a man who understood what it felt like to struggle.
Whenever someone couldn't pay rent because of genuine hardship, Michael didn't shout, because he still remembered the frightened family standing on the roadside years ago. He never forgot where he came from.
Many people believe a small salary is the reason they never build wealth. But sometimes the problem isn't the size of the paycheck, it's the lack of a plan. Michael's salary didn't change first, his habits did. He stopped trying to look rich and started learning how to become financially secure. He discovered that wealth isn't built in one payday, it's built one decision at a time, one saved dollar at a time, one good habit at a time. Remember this. You don't have to earn millions to begin changing your future. You only have to become faithful with what you already have. Because a salary can feed you for a month, but wisdom can provide for a lifetime. So let me ask you one final question. When your next paycheck arrives, will it disappear or will it become the beginning of a different future? Tell us in the comments, what is one habit you're going to change starting today? If this story touched your heart, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this story with someone who needs hope today. Your next paycheck could become the first brick in the future you've been praying for. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next story.